Well, hello. Thank you for joining me today. We are looking at the Grade 7 B2 Adagietto Pianissimo. It's a very charming, gentle piece. It's slow, it's soft, it's smooth. And we're going to have a little play through it now, and then we'll talk about the ins and outs of it after I've done that. So here goes. So if we go back to the beginning now, the one thing we keep in mind all the way through is that it's very gentle, it's pianissimo, very soft, and it's sempre. It's always pianissimo as written there at the beginning. We must make sure that our tempo isn't rushed. If we convert dotted crotchet 46 BPM to quaver beats, we get 138 quaver beats in the bar, which gives us this kind of speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That kind of tempo. So that's kind of like a maximum speed you probably want to be doing it at. Just keep it nice and calm. In terms of fingering, the left hand here, the 2 on the D is what I'm doing. But I mean, it says 3. I'm not convinced by that. I prefer the 2. And then of course we're playing this chord entirely in the right hand. So we've got the thumb playing the D and the E, where that little bracket is in the right hand part. So it's a little bit stretchy, but it's fine. That's what we're aiming for. And then as we look at the next bar, once again trying to play it very smooth. And this chord coming here, interesting harmony with the thumb over the F and the E. Oops. So we need to get used to the sound of that, and then of course as we carry on, didn't quite hit the G there. And it's very important actually to lift off after that third bar. Once you've hit the E flat and the B flat, get onto the 5 as it tells us, and then we carry on. And of course bar 4 is the same as bar 1. So far we've set ourselves up for a very nice smooth sound. You know, that's not a big deal at the start. We do have to be careful going forwards because of course in bar 5 we have a treble clef creeping in briefly. And it's a bit like that stretch earlier, just octave higher. Once again I'm using a 2 on the D in the left hand. And then back to bass clef. You could do a lot worse actually than just working on left hand. You know, initially, let's look at bar 7. And once again, I'm not enjoying the 3 on the B flat. I prefer the 2 in bar 7. So the 2 there. And finally this. Just watch out for those really high left-hand notes there, because that is an A. No, is it A sharp? Oh, yes, it is A sharp. So we've got to be careful there on the accuracy. And just carrying on in the left, you know. getting too complex, bar 11, new pedal here, and back to, and there's that same chord coming in. So really the first 12 bars are reasonably straightforward. If we look at the parts from bar 5, hands together, we've got that little idea. No, we haven't. Okay, so, and it's very nice to hold that right hand down throughout that bar. That's what it wants. And then, so once again here, be careful that your thumb in the right hand is playing the D and the E because of that bracket there written in bar 6. So here we go. If I go from bar 5, and this last note here is an A flat, so we've just got to be careful. The thing I recommend about this left hand as well is really trying to, if you can reach the notes by stretching, practice it without the pedal to promote that kind of calming legato effect. Just take your time on it initially. I played the wrong note in the right hand. What have we got there? So once again, that left hand, really legato, really trying to connect. It's a good idea not to take shortcuts on that. And that last bar. As I start the end of bar 8, I obviously come off the pedal there and back on. Did I do it wrong? I'm trying to bring out the melody as well here because, you know, we don't want it to be bottom heavy. You know, it's overshadowing, so be careful that the tune is heard above. Arguably I'm playing this maybe louder than I need to, so be very delicate in the left hand. There we have it. So first 12 bars, probably a good idea to work on that initially and let that just settle down. So now if we go from bar 13, once again we're really trying to think about the quality of the left hand connecting. Once again practicing without pedal. That bar 14 there, just be careful to lift the 5 onto the G after the first chord here. That's the same as bar 3. And of course finally bar 15. As I carry on in the left, it's the same rule all the way through. Just keep it as legato as you can. I know it sounds obvious saying that, but that's all there is really to keep in mind. That one's awkward there. They're suggesting 4 and 2. 2 and 3 also is okay. 2 and 4. And then G flat at the end of bar 18. You've just got to be careful on those occasional high left-hand notes that you really are making sure you're not playing, you know, the wrong note at the top there. Okay, so there's not much to say about that section. We carry on from bar 19, keeping in mind this is a strange moment because the right hand has just played at the end of bar 17, and here we go. We've got to go from the D up to the D above and then hit the B. Bar 19 straight there as a 10th. Very awkward to do. If you can't reach that, don't panic because you could literally go, you know, substitute it for, that's probably the best way to do it. So if we've just come from the beginning of page 2, and we're starting on the B probably on a 2, and then the A is on the thumb, and as we hit the 4 on the D, we have to completely lift off and do that interval, which is a little bit awkward. The other option you have is to put the thumb under onto the D to prepare yourself for that D. So the thumb could go under but then you still have to kind of lift off to go, so or play together if you can do it. So you might have to just figure out for yourself what you want to do when you get there. Just be mindful of that strange interval there in bar 19, the 10th. Okay, so I'm just going to go from bar 18. Once again, trying to bring out that little melody if I can. Oops. Interesting moment there where we've got the right hand playing legato and the left hand playing the staccato. Make sure they're very delicate, and of course it's 3/2 here. So I always think of 3 triplets as elephant, elephant, and the left hand is syncopated in a sense because we've got the first ones together, elephant. A good exercise here is to practice tapping on your knees or on a table, and you can literally go elephant, elephant to represent the right hand, and the left hand, are you going to work on getting that offbeat, elephant, elephant, elephant. If you think like that, you can then start with just the right hand, elephant, elephant, and that can help you get used to the strangeness of that offbeat in the left hand. And then we put it together slowly, elephant, 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 elephant. And when it speeds up, it kind of corrects itself to a very accurate feel. So that idea is what we've got. Remember the E's tied here, so bar 24 followed by another awkward moment for stretching here. You might not be able to easily stretch and then do this bit of dissonance as well. If you can't do that very easily, you're still going to have to get down there, so you might have to sacrifice the E if you're really struggling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I think I hit the wrong note in the left hand. See how easy it is to go wrong. That's the chord we need there, F and A. What have we got here? That's the one. You see, I don't know this piece that well really. I'm still partially sight reading it. And then we have this, excuse me, this nice. Once again, you want to practice that very legato. And that chord, that looks like an E flat major chord at first in bar 30, and then the C sharp and the D. Interesting dissonance. You don't have to rush into the next bar. You know, you can kind of put a little bit of rubato in. And then carry on through that little run up from the end. Which is really like a D augmented chord. There's D major, D augmented, and that's all we're doing really. I can sort of slow down a little bit towards the end, sounds nice. And the left hand is moving in a parallel motion in a sense. We've got the C, E flat and A following up like that. So we're keeping the G sustained in bar 30, so the pedal is going to be held for those 2 bars. Let's do it properly this time. That's not properly either, is it? Oh dear. Followed by this nice. And that last chord there is very high, well, last run I should say, is very high up. They're the notes we're doing because the treble clef is there. Followed by the D at the very top. Don't forget, of course, that last note is 8 VA, so it's an octave higher than written, so that is the D we're playing at the very end. And of course you've got the 8/8 at the end of that run. Those last 3 quavers there in bar 32 are indeed that high, and of course, yeah. So good luck with this, hope it goes well for you. And yeah, I might see you on some of the next videos I'm going to make, because I've got to get through the rest of these in this book and then on to grade 8. So yeah, see you around sometime hopefully. Take care.